Such is the popularity of the World Endurance Championship right now, that more and more automotive manufacturers are showing an interest in the championship's hypercar class. But the latest manufacturer to show interest could come as somewhat of a surprise. The hypercar class of WEC really has achieved what it set out to do. It's captured the imagination of car makers across the globe, having already got the likes of Ferrari, Porsche and Peugeot to return to endurance racing's top class, while other teams such as Lamborghini have taken the leap to try its hand in the championship, given how appealing the regulations are. Even Aston Martin are returning with a two-car effort next year, and after the 2024 Le Mans 24 Hours, Zak Brown indicated that McLaren would again consider the possibility of entering a hypercar team in the near future. But the latest team to signal its potential interest in a hypercar campaign is a team that has never been endurance racing before, Hyundai. Hyundai's popularity as a car manufacturer has been on the rise for some time now. Producing cars that are really good value for money, Hyundai's machines have never been more popular on the road. And it's also no stranger to the world of motorsport. It is currently fighting for championship glory in the World Rally Championship, and it also runs Hyundai Elantras in the FIA TCR World Tour Series. It's been in those two championships for some time now, but since ex-Renault Formula 1 team principal Cyril Abiteboul joined the motorsport arm of Hyundai as team principal and president, the company has shown a bigger appetite of getting involved in the higher echelons of circuit racing. Last year there were rumours that Hyundai was considering entering an F1 team, especially with new regulations at play for 2026. But that soon fizzled out, and it is widely believed that it decided against F1 due to the level of costs involved. And so now it appears to have turned its attentions to pursuing a possibility of putting together a hypercar team. Motorsport.com has revealed that Hyundai is currently evaluating the prospect of an LMDH program that could mean it fields cars in both the hypercar class of WEC and the GTP class of IMSA, and its sources suggest that it could be in a position to have its cars ready in time for the 2026 season. You might be thinking that a hypercar program is an odd decision to make, given the fact that Hyundai doesn't really have any sports car racing pedigree, or because it doesn't even have a road-going hypercar or supercar on sale. But looking at it from that perspective is perhaps slightly closed-minded. Competing in WEC and IMSA would give Hyundai a huge global fan base to get its brand in front of. Those two championships currently have a bigger global audience than either WRC or TCR right now, and the technology in the hypercar class would certainly have a lot of relevance for its road-going vehicles, which means it's not a huge leap into the unknown, like it might have been with Formula 1. It's also not going to cost Hyundai anywhere near as much to set up a hypercar program as it would an F1 team, which again adds to the appeal. And beyond that, it would allow Hyundai to penetrate the US market a lot harder than it is right now. That seems to have been a clear ambition of the manufacturer for some time, and it's something that Abiteboul has brought up several times when talking about the WRC's future and its need to be competing in North America. So while it might seem like an odd route to take from the outside, when you start to think about it, a hypercar program begins to make a lot more sense than you might initially think. There's always been speculation that if Hyundai pursues a venture into a different category, whether that be F1 or WEC, that it would be to the detriment of the WRC. Some of that thinking comes down to the fact that WRC isn't as popular as it once was, and there's currently a lack of competition with only two other teams competing in the top class of the championship. But Hyundai has been so instrumental in getting the championship to hold up its new regulation cycle, so it can complete the developments it's been working on for its current car, that in many respects it wouldn't really make sense for Hyundai to pull out of the championship if it went endurance racing. And it's not like Hyundai's budget is so small that it could only do one thing or the other. It could conceivably do both, and to a high level. It's also not a given that Hyundai would compete in endurance racing under the Hyundai badge. It also has the Genesis brand that it could use for its endurance racing campaign, meaning there would be a clear difference between its brands and what they are doing. The WRC is also hugely relevant when it comes to its road cars. It competes with an i20N, one of its most popular road cars. So ditching the world of rallying to go endurance racing would not make that much sense at all. At the moment, the prospect of Hyundai going endurance racing is all ifs, buts and maybes. But regardless of whether it becomes a reality or not, it showcases two interesting points. The first being that it shows just how popular WEC and IMSA have become with its latest set of regulations. And the second is that it proves just how much Hyundai stock has been rising within the automotive and motorsport landscape of late. It's no longer an outlier of the automotive industry, it's a company to take seriously, and it now has big ambitions to match.